All right. I see it in the chat. I see all you guys. What time is it? Come on, what time is it? Let me know. What time is it? I want to hear in the chat. I want to make sure. I want to see. Is it? I think it's Heim time. I think it is. It is Heim time. I'm seeing all these clocks all over. It's Heim time. 10th win of the season. Jeff Fabiano, I apologize for ever doubting you. You were right. Wow. I mean, it somehow it is Heim time. 10th win of the season, I believe, correct? 10-time high. I like that one. Coaster guy has it right. 10-time Heim time. I like that one. And then, of course, yeah, he has plot armor. At this rate, he does. I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely nuts. Sometimes you're great. Sometimes you're lucky because he did not, I think, have the best. He did not have the best run race. Not all to his fault. But that race was Brent Cruz's, and then it wasn't. But with that, he breaks Greg Biffle's record of 9 wins in a season. Now with 10, he's got Talladega, Martinsville, and Phoenix to go. So he could peak out at 13 at this rate. And all time on the wins list, he is 7th with 21 still. He's still at 7th. He is 1 behind Todd Bodine. So if he wins 2 of the next 3, he will be 6th all time. If he wins the next 3, he'll be tied for top 5 all time in trucks. Wow. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts just how damn good that team has been. Real quick, and I'll put it on the bottom in a moment. He has advanced, obviously, the Final Four, which he deserves to. When he got crash lap 1, I have to admit in my head, I was like, oh my God, is this Kevin Harvick 2020 Part 2 Electric Boogaloo? Like, are we really going to see this happen again? Luckily for Heim and probably a lot of our sanity, that is not the case. Ankrum and Hemrick tied for 2nd, +2. And then Raja Caruth currently in +1 over Lane Riggs, who just everything possible went wrong. Majeski -2, Enfinger -4, Honeycutt -4. That's how close it is. The gap is, I believe, 6 points from 2nd to 8th. And we're heading into Talladega in 2 weeks. So take of that what you will. It's just going to be absolutely wild. Let's go through the finishing order of this race. This was the EcoSave 250. It was 70 laps. I think it was scheduled to be 67. I think. Yeah. 70 laps. We had 4 cautions for 12 laps, 8 lead changes on the day, a 1.338 margin of victory, and 2 hours, 7 minutes, 12 seconds is the run time. Corey Heim gets another win after only leading this time 6 laps. Brent Cruz dominates the event, leads 56 laps, comes home 2nd in TRICON's first ever 1-2-3 finish because Gio Ruggiero got himself all the way up to the 3rd spot. Raja Caruth navigated himself to 4th. Great finish for him at the right time. Connor Zilich in 5th. I'm surprised. Complete non-factor today. I mean, he was up front, but he was not as fast as the TRICON trucks at all. Complete non-factor. Just about every account for Connor Zilich. Josh Bilicki, 6th place run, and that is indicative of where he ran most of the day. He was top 10 most of the day in that 41 for Nice. Great run for him. Enfinger in 7th. Majeski, after playing bowling in turn 7 with 2 to go, comes home with an 8th place finish. Ankrum in 9th and Mosak in 10th. Then Hemrick, Curry, Sutton, Honeycutt, and Will Rogers, which I believe Parker Kligerman jumped into. I think he jumped into that car, right? Or truck, right? That's the top 15. Timmy Hill with a 16th place run. Matt Mills, 17th. LaJoy, 18th. Chandler Smith, after being spun out in 2nd with 2 to go on fresh tires, 19th spot was his finishing position. And rounding out the top 20, Spencer Boyd. Then Lane Riggs, Jack Wood, and Jake Garcia, the lead lap in the top 23. Matt Crafton, 1 lap down, 24th. Meyer. I don't. He finished a lap down 25th. Chris Wright, 1 down in 26th. 27th is Slimp. Maggio and Tomasi, the top 29. Then 6 laps down, Tony Breidinger after running out of gas to bring out the last caution. Tanner Gray comes home 31st. Perez 32nd. Raum 33rd. Fartuk is 34th. Kligerman 35th. And Ben Rhodes finishes last in this thing. So that is your finishing order. We will pop those down on the bottom. I probably spelled somebody's name wrong or got something wrong. Y'all will let me know. Y'all, you're always good at doing that. Yeah, that's right, Noah. The competitive Tony Breidinger, according to Jamie Little. I got to admit, I was expecting a crazier race for the first Roval truck race. The finish was crazy. Some of the restarts and the start was crazy, but I can't say that it was as, batshit crazy as I thought it was going to be, which I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm okay with that. Yeah. And Michael Waltrip. Yeah. Well, I'm not shocked. But yeah, I was a little surprised by that. I want to know, out of 10, what did you think of this race? 10 being the best race you've ever seen, instant classic, 1 being like the 2008 Brickyard. I see mid-race, 5 out of 10. We got a little delay waiting for others. 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 0. Heim time out of 10. Oh, it's going quicker now. 5, 1. There's 2 5s, 1, 4.5, 5, 5. Heim. So 11 out of 10. 5, 5, 5. Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of with you guys. I was thinking probably 4 or 5. It was just a mediocre race. Truck series. Kevin Harvick, I like having him in the booth with these because I think he elevates it. I think him and Joey Logano together kind of, mask some of the issues that Jamie Little will have in the booth. And I liked what Kevin Harvick brought up about how they just don't have enough horsepower to really kind of race off the corner. So you have to dive bomb it in, even compared to the Cup and Xfinity cars in the truck series. And that's true. I mean, they get so bogged down on a corner exit that you really have to rely on everything being on dive bombing the entry for a lot of these. And I think, it was evident. I mean, we saw the way they were dive bombing from lap 1, where Enfinger gets into 34 and takes out Riggs and Heim. Heim able to recover. Riggs, just so many issues, broken sway bar at one point too. Just not much that 34 was going to be able to do. Every time he kept getting up towards the front, somebody else would just bash the hell out of him, which, it sucks for him because heading into Talladega now, he is 1 point out, and it's so close that, a lap 10 wreck can wreck what is, I think, a very competitive season, and at least should result in the final 4 for him. But that you got Talladega in the next round or the next race, in 2 weeks for this truck series. So there's not much you can do on that one. I want to say, I talked up Heim, but Brent Cruz deserves a ton of props for just how good he ran that race. Yeah, sure. The start opened up, part of the seas for him, and opened up a great way to dominate the day, but he was not making any dumb mistakes. There really wasn't anything that he did that lost that race. It was just purely circumstantial based off of how the cautions fell at the end of this thing. He thoroughly dominated the first 67 laps. He led 56 of them. Honeycutt led a few, Heim led a few, and Majeski led 1. There's one driver and team that I think was probably the most deserving of getting a win, but that's just how these races go, especially with these overtime finishes. It sucks for him, but I think he's going to have a pretty good future, especially in the road course side of things with it. So he deserves a hell of a props for just how good he did. Just the way the cookie crumbles at the end of it. That's it. It just, truck races end up like this. You can't really hold on to it too long, But some of the others, Raja, I mean, great run for him. Not just the finish. He finished 7th in the first stage. And I believe, did he not finish top 10? No, he did not. No, he finished 3rd in the second stage. So those stage points made a huge difference for him. With Talladega, anything can happen. And as long as you stay out of trouble, that's the thing is, I think that there will be contenders that get wrecked at Talladega in 2 weeks. I think there will be 3 that avoid it. And heading into Martinsville, if you can be one of those 3 that builds a gap, gets some points early and all of that, that's all you have to do. I did not have much faith in Raja. Friend of the channel, love him as a person and driver, but I did not see this kind of run coming where he gets, I believe he got 12 stage points, 4th place finish. I mean, it's one of the best run races they've had all year. And even though they went out, stayed out, got the points instead of maybe doing the pit strategies that a Heim would do, that a Cruz would do, they were still running top 10 for much of this race. So like I said, 71 team, about as good as you can ask for. Looking through the first stage was at least where we saw some of the craziness, because right after that lap 1 deal with the 11 and the 34 and the 9, then you had Ben Rhodes, who just lost it and crashed. And that's why he finished last in this race. And you had, sort of just the stage flipping strategy the rest of the way. And that thing is, after that start, there really wasn't too much intriguing storylines with this race until Heim got up there and you could tell he was starting to actually run down the 1 truck. With that, we had plenty of people spin out on restarts, which is normal. It's normal for road courses in general, let alone the Roval. But it really wasn't until about 7 to go that you're like, oh man, we actually have a storyline to end this race, because Corey Heim is running down the 1. The 1 now, with about 3 to go or so, was saying he was possibly running out of gas or he's having some sort of issue. No mistakes could possibly be made if he were to beat Heim. And then Breidinger stopped on the racetrack, and it's just like I said, it just all hell breaks loose. That at that point, it's just really whoever gets the best restart to get away from the pack is going to win the race, whether that's Heim, Mosak, whether it was, I'm surprised that Chandler Smith didn't make quick work of those front cars or trucks, because I don't know if people noticed, but when the 5 truck was stopped on track, the 38 went down pit road. So they were saying, 38 has less fresh tires. Like, well, no, I mean, he got the fresh tires and then the caution came out right after. He was the first one in fresh tires. It was a genius move on that team's part. I'm just surprised he wasn't able to make quick work of them. I think it just showed that 38 truck was just not a contending truck today. And they just circumstantially, again, like a lot of others, got put up there. The universe corrected it by letting Ty Majeski, like I said, go bowling with like 3 other trucks. And unfortunately for the 38, he was one of the bowling pins. But I mean, what more can you say at this point? We are 20 races or 22 races in, I think. I think we're 22 races in to the truck season. We have 3 to go. Last bye week this coming week, and then it is just a race to the finish, triple headers all the way through Talladega, Martinsville, and Phoenix for all 3 series racing. It's the last bye week for any series this year. So yeah, get ready, because especially with the championships side of it, and then you have, of course, just the craziness of the racing in general. I really think we're going to see just an absolutely nuts, whether it's a good or a bad nuts. It's going to be a nuts, crazy, bonkers way to end the season. Talladega, Martinsville, and then the Phoenix again. I know it sucks, but it's the finale, so stuff happens. As long as it's not a 2023 wonky kind of thing, I really don't care. But with that, I'm going to put the points down the bottom while we go through the super chat cool down lap. Thank you for a lot of super chats as we wait on here, and I will get to all of those. Starting with Blorp, who says, Ty Majeski has the road course skills of a hamster. Again, that's the reason I kept calling him the bowling ball, man. He kept running into people. He kept running into people a lot. Let's see. Just curious, does it make sense to say someone who ran second or third all day was a non-factor? I feel like there should be another way to describe his day. Only TRICON cars were better. But that's the thing, is that if you ran second or third, but he was always falling back, like, I'll put it like this. William Sawalich at Sonoma in the Xfinity Series race ran like third or fourth all day. Complete non-factor behind SVG and Connor Zilic. And that's kind of where Zilic was. He was further back. So I know a lot of Zillbillies might not be happy with me saying that, but it's just kind of true. He was not a factor for the win in this race, really. He stayed up there with them. He can maintain for a while, but he kept falling back. The TRICON trucks were just too damn good today. That's the best way I can kind of put it in that way. I get wanting me to say it in different ways, but I'm not going to mince words with what it looked like to me out there. Andrew here says, in honor of Mean Girls Day, the word to describe Corey's win is fetch. I do feel bad for Brent. He was the truck to beat. He definitely was the truck to beat. And stop saying fetch. Fetch is never going to happen. Young Money says, another rigged race. I don't think it was rigged, but I think that's just sort of the meme we're going with at this point, which I kind of find funny. Thomas, thank you for being a 1-month member. I appreciate it. Neil Money says, Corey Heim has 9 real wins. Parker won Daytona. Okay, yes, sure. But same token, at the end of the day, they got caught with an infraction. They got penalized, right? That's just how it goes. That's the rules at this point. If they change the rules and go back to encumbered wins, then sure, the 75 would have kept it. But it's 10 wins on the books, and that's all that matters. Like a lot of people have said for the last few years, blame the game. Don't blame the player, blame the game. Roman numeral 3 says, is this the worst NASCAR starting time in history? Okay, yeah, I kind of have a bone to pick with that. Whose brain dead idea was it to start in the middle of the afternoon on a work and school day? Like, is that the only one that TV could manage to get to work? I don't know what was on the Fox affiliates for everybody, but I know for me, it was paid programming. Like, can we not just move to Fox to fill the airtime? Like, even, at least that could justify it, I get there probably is like some college sports tonight. I don't give two shits about college sports, so I don't know. But that just was a bad start time. Because for me, it started at like 2:30 in the afternoon. And for those on the West Coast, it's like 12:30 in the afternoon on a Friday. Like, I would not be surprised if this race has, like, I don't know, under 200,000 viewers, because you have so many people at work, kids at school. It's Friday afternoon. What the hell are we doing, guys? But that's just a Fox thing. I'm not surprised. Thomas says, skip Phoenix, crown Heim the champ, no playoffs needed. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Make Winston great again. Yeah, it's sort of 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, well, on the East Coast, sure, like people are getting out of school or still in work at that point. But for me, it's 2:30 Central, it's 1:30 Mountain, it's 12:30 Pacific. Like, it's just a terrible starting time. Young Money, the booth needs to stop glazing Heim every time he's in the lead. I mean, how can you not at this point? Like, the season he's putting up is historically great. And I don't think it's necessarily glazing. I think it's more just like pointing out something, pointing out somebody being really damn good. And NASCAR, and I've noticed this with the NASCAR media, I've noticed it with NASCAR themselves, and I've noticed it with NASCAR fans. A lot of people just don't like dominance, and I get it. But it's amazing in this day and age just how dominant Corey Heim is in that 11 truck. And if he was in a different truck, would it be that way? If a different driver was in there, would it be that way? I don't know. I think it's a perfect pairing and combination. But I don't think that talking about a historic run is necessarily glazing at this point. Creston here says, hate to bring it up, but if Heim doesn't win the championship in Phoenix, I don't see any way you can defend the playoffs after that. I said the same thing after Kevin Harvick in 2020. Didn't make a difference. I hope it does. Like I said, fingers crossed for full season. Make legitimacy great again. But yeah, I have a feeling either him or Zilich, one of those two, is not going to win their respective championships. And if it's Zilich, especially, fans will freaking riot. Heim, I don't think fans will be as upset. One, because other than like all of us on here, and then like, of course, some of the diehards, not many people really care about the truck series as much, but Xfinity, much bigger audience now, a lot of better, or bigger characters. And then the Heim side, again, you're comparing a Toyota guy to a Chevy guy. NASCAR fans, it will always have a hate boner for Toyota. So I think if either of them doesn't win, it's unless Zilich just has a horrible run to the finish, and it's clear others were better over the total season. Even then, I mean, Zilich has been just on such a run too. I just don't see, I don't see how you can logically defend it. Of course, there'll be some that are probably on the payroll that say, it's crowning the best team and entertainment and all of that. And, I don't know who the hell would say that though. Creston says, also loving the beard, Jarrett. Thank you. I grew it myself. Well, yeah. So again, all right, enough race. I think that'll be the worst of the weekend though. I think we're going to go up from there. I think tomorrow's going to be pretty fun. Maybe for second, if it's all behind Zilich. And I think that Sunday will for second be all fun behind SVG. But either way, I do think the races are going to get better as the weekend goes on. So thank you guys so much for coming on out. We will be live for the Xfinity race tomorrow evening, and then the Cup race on Sunday, and then NWP on this channel Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, with Michael Roots coming on. So should be a lot of stuff coming up this week. Cannot wait. Hope to see you there. And y'all have a great start to your weekend. Stay safe out there. Have a great night, guys. Bye.